Hello, my name is Voltaire. I'm a recording artist and touring musician, and I'm presently finishing up my 11th studio album, Raised by Bats.
So we sleep all day and we rise at night, and we spread our wings and take into the skies. And when the people all stop and stare and say, why you gotta be like that, I just look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats.
Now, despite having been referred to as a gothic musician for the better part of the last 15 years, I've actually never made a goth album. Everything up until now has been sort of this like acoustic, gothy sort of folk, I suppose. But as it happens, when I was a teenager, I wrote songs. In 1984, I wrote a song called The Masquerade. In '89, I wrote a song called The Night, and another one called Wake Up from This Horrible Dream. But back then, I didn't have the know-how, the skill, the means, or the resources to make an album. But now I do. So after 10 full-length albums, I'm finally going back and making the album I've always wanted to make. My first ever album of goth rock, death rock, new romantic, and new wave songs. Now, I am not alone on this venture called Raised by Bats. In fact, I may be the least talented person on this album. It's comprised mostly of guest musicians, and just look at the list of people who have already recorded on this album. Brian Viglione of the Dresden Dolls plays all of the drums. Ray Toro of My Chemical Romance plays guitar. Knox Chandler, who's played with Susie and the Banshees, The Creatures, Depeche Mode, he plays guitar as well on the album. Legendary gothic bass player Craig Adams, who played in the Sisters of Mercy, The Mission UK, The Cult and The Alarm, he plays on this album. Emilio Zeffkina from Peter Murphy's band plays bass. Melora Krieger from Rasputina returns to play cello on this album. Chibi of the Birthday Massacre sings a song with me on this album. The incredibly talented Miss Julia Marcel sings on the album. The list goes on and on. Frank Morin of World Inferno Friendship Society really blazes a trail, creating some incredible goth rock guitar tracks. Armin Ra, who's played with Mark Almond and Anthony and the Johnsons, plays theremin. And there's a song called Oh My Goth with backing vocals by The Crew Shadows, Bella Morte, Ego Likeness, Zombina and the Skeletones, and Angel Spit. Honestly, the album is just completely unbelievable. The talent on this album is absolutely mind-numbing. Now, as you can see, we've already made the goal on this campaign, but as it happens, I set the goal really low so that I wouldn't look like an ass if I didn't make the goal. But honestly, the more pertinent reason was that I had already spent $35,000 of my own money making this album, and I needed another 10 to finish it. So this campaign really was geared towards being able to pay for the pressing of the album, the mixing, and the mastering. Now that we're a bit over double the original goal, that stuff is taken care of, and I can move on to making the album as great as it can be, finishing it as quickly as possible. And my primary goal, which is getting as many copies of this album to as many people who want a copy of it. So, now that we've secured the finishing of the album, the number that concerns me is far less how much money is made, and this number right here, the number of funders. There are tens of thousands of people who, check out my Facebook page, my YouTube page, my Twitter, etc., who listen to my music on a daily basis. The number of funders to me is the number of people who, first of all, can financially make a contribution, because some people simply can't, and I understand that. But amongst those people who can make a financial contribution, it's the people who say, I care about you, your music is important to me, and I want to see you be able to keep making it. Because let's face it, folks, this is how it's happening from now on. There's no record label involved. It is up to you to determine which of your favorite artists get to continue making music by supporting those projects. So please, if and only if you're a fan of my music, if and only if you've gone to the SoundCloud page, there's a link below, and you've heard the songs and you've said, this is worth my money, won't you please take a moment to contribute something to the campaign? There's a lot of fantastic perks. You can get the album digitally, you can get it as a CD, you can get it signed, you can get it with a poster with this fantastic cover art by Michael Komar. There are Raised by Bats t-shirts and stickers, and all sorts of really fantastic things that you can select. Please say yes to music. Please say, yes, I support music and I want to see it keep going. And only if you think Raised by Bats is a worthy endeavor, please take a moment to contribute something so that I can send you a copy straight from the lair to your home. Orville Dedenbacher's been very quiet. He promised he wouldn't say a word throughout this entire video, and he's made good on his promise. Thank you, Orville. Now you can talk now. Orville? Orville! While I could really use your support, I am known to put all my music up on my YouTube page anyway. So if you can't afford to donate, please go to the Lair of Voltaire at youtube.com/Voltaire music page, where you can watch me and Orville Dedenbacher have it out, and you can listen to a whole bunch of my previous albums for free.